Welcome to the Explainer. Okay, let's kick things off with a little quiz. If I asked you where to find the world's largest Hindu temple, where would you guess? India, right? That seems like the obvious answer. Well, get ready for a surprise. Because the answer is right here. This is Angkor Wat, and it's tucked away deep in the forests of Cambodia. It is an absolutely breathtaking structure, but here's the kicker. It's not alone. It's just one of several stunning Hindu temples you can find all across Southeast Asia. Which, brings up a pretty big question. How on earth did these incredible marvels, the very heart of Hindu religious architecture, get built so far from India? To figure that out, well, we've got to go way back in time. It all boils down to the Indian connection, and we're talking about seeds of empire that were planted across the sea. You see, powerful ancient Indian empires like the Chola and the Kalinga were masters of the sea. Their ships carried more than just spices and silks. They were floating vessels of culture, ideas, and religion. For up-and-coming rulers in Southeast Asia, adopting Hinduism was a major status symbol. It plugged them into this grand, ancient civilization. And this cultural exchange lit the fuse for powerful new Hindu dynasties to pop up, like the Majapahit in Java, and, of course, the one at the center of our story, the mighty Khmer Empire. And this wasn't just a flash in the pan. We're talking about a golden age of building that lasted for centuries. Look at this. From the 800s all the way to the 1300s, these empires were in a complete frenzy of temple construction. It was an age of incredible faith, sure, but also of fierce rivalries, with kings trying to outdo each other and leave their mark in stone for all time. So let's start our tour with the absolute giant of the forest, the world record holder itself, Angkor Wat. This masterpiece was built by the Khmer emperors, mainly a guy named Suryavarman II. But Angkor Wat is so much more than just a beautiful building. It was a statement, a massive power move. By building the largest religious monument on the planet, the king wasn't just saying, "I'm devout." He was screaming, "I am powerful, and my right to rule comes from the gods themselves." And it's just this perfect fusion, right? You can see the Indian architectural DNA, but it's blended with a totally unique Khmer style that makes it one of a kind. And to really get a sense of the epic scale we're talking about, just look at Angkor Wat, right next to another giant from this period, Prambanan, over in Indonesia. Two different countries, two completely colossal structures, all born from a shared heritage. Speaking of which, let's hop over to Indonesia and check out that very temple. This is Prambanan, an unbelievable complex and the largest Hindu temple site in the entire country. Now, Prambanan has a slightly different vibe than Angkor Wat. Instead of focusing on one main deity, it's dedicated to the true Murti, the big three of the Hindu pantheon who run the cosmic show: Brahma the creator, Vishnu the preserver, and Shiva the destroyer. And the scale here is, well, it's just mind-blowing. The central temples are huge, obviously, but the entire complex originally had more than 240 smaller temples and shrines surrounding them. I mean, can you even imagine what that must have looked like in its heyday? This whole incredible place was put together way back in the 9th century by the Sanjaya kings of the Mataram kingdom. And for them, a project this massive was a huge act of devotion, for sure. But it was also a way to show their people and their enemies just how powerful and blessed by the gods their kingdom really was. All right, for our last stop, we're heading to a place that's as dramatic as it is beautiful and a little bit controversial. Welcome to Priya Vihar, the temple on the edge. I mean, just look at this location. This temple is perched on the edge of a 500-meter high cliff in the Dangruk Mountains. It's honestly one of the most spectacular settings for any holy site in the entire world. And it makes perfect sense that it's dedicated to the mountain god aspects of Lord Shiva. And that incredible location isn't just for the views. The whole temple is designed as a metaphor for the mythical Mount Meru, the cosmic mountain that's the center of the universe and the home of the gods. So as a pilgrim, when you climb up the temple's long causeway, you're literally making a journey toward the heavens. How cool is that? And hey, look who's back. This place was mostly built in the 11th and 12th centuries by the exact same Khmer dynasty. And yep, even one of the same kings, Suryavarman II, who built Angkor Wat. It just goes to show you how massive and influential their empire was. But being right on the border between modern-day Cambodia and Thailand, well, that's where things got a little complicated in more recent history. For a long time, its ownership was a really serious point of conflict. It finally got settled back in 1962 when the International Court of Justice awarded the temple to Cambodia. So, After this incredible journey, what's the big takeaway? Well, all three of these temples are now UNESCO World Heritage Sites, which means they belong to all of us. They're not just Cambodian or Indonesian. They're this incredible, unique blend of Indian religious philosophy and pure Southeast Asian artistic genius. They are truly timeless symbols of what these amazing ancient empires were capable of. And that leaves us with one final thing to think about. When you see Angkor Wat on the Cambodian flag, or you read about the modern disputes over Pravia hair, it's clear these places are not just dusty old relics. They're alive. Which really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How do these ancient stones and the powerful stories they hold still play such a huge role in shaping who we are today?